Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Firehouse Chef. I'm still your host, Ryan McKay, and today we're continuing our condiment series on a very classic American mustard. I want to show you can make this at home. More importantly, you can make it taste a little bit better than this plain Jane flavor by adding all sorts of different things, from beer to wine to lemon to vinegar to, well, you name it. I mean, you can get crazy and add some vegetables and some fruit and some herbs. I'm trying to give you the power here. So let's go ahead and suit up and get started on making some mustard. All right, mustard, everyone, not like barbecue sauces, comes in a lot of different shapes and sizes, varieties, flavor profiles, but you always see it made out of, mustard seed. Now, mustard seed can either be found whole at the grocery store. They're typically yellow, but there's black as well, and that's what they look like small little peppercorns. Or you can find it pre-ground at the store as well, which is typically how you'll find it at your local grocery store. Bear in mind, though, when you use the powdered stuff like this, it's kind of like garlic. The more you cut it down, the stronger it becomes. So just keep that in mind when you're making it. There's a couple of different ways you can combat that. You can let it sit for a little while. It becomes a little bit more mild as the days go on, or you can kind of cut it with some the additives that you put into it. Now, I know not everybody has a spice grinder or a coffee grinder. That's why I'm going to go ahead and use the powdered form here for this recipe I'm going to show you. But bear in mind, you don't always have to chop it up. You can keep it whole grain like in Dijon mustard, or you can kind of like semi-grind it up like in a food processor and have it have like a chunky consistency. Just bear in mind, there's hundreds of different ways you can take this mustard. I'm going to show you a very plain Jane vanilla way of going about it, although it's still 10 times better than the American version. So let's get going. All right, so what I've gathered here for you are pretty much all the basics that you need to make your own mustard sauce. Now, of course, you need to have your ground mustard and typically a liquid of some sort, whether it's vinegar, lemon juice, wine, beer, which are always fun to play around with, or water even. In fact, there's this argument out there that if you add hot water, it kind of milds out the flavor of the mustard, whereas you add cold water to it, it kind of retains its heat, because that's what mustard's known for, is its heat. That's why we eat it in hot dogs and hamburgers. I haven't really found that to be the case. So if anybody else out there has tried it and that's the case that you found, please email me and let me know. Now I've got also some honey here and some extra virgin olive oil that can be used to kind of cut the bitterness of it, kind of take off the heat end of it, and allow you to use it a little bit quicker than you would if you had to let it sit and let it mild down, I should say, over the course of a couple days. So for today I'm going to be using the ground, some apple cider vinegar and a little bit extra virgin olive oil. So let's get started. All right, so what to do with our new homemade mustard. And now keep in mind, this recipe I'm about to show you, I've got some mustard that I made maybe 3 or 4 days ago. It's had a chance to mild out considerably. I cannot emphasize enough that the stuff that you just made is extremely strong, so just take that as a caution. But I got some mustard here, some honey. I'm going to be making you a very basic honey mustard vinaigrette. So let's get started. All right, everyone, that's the episode on mustard. Hopefully I've kind of opened up the door and broken down some fears on how to make your own and kind of elevate this classic recipe into something a little different, something a little elevated. giving you the power to kind of make your own. I mean, you saw it's very simple, just a couple of different ingredients, and you pretty much wait. Now, I kind of think mustard gets a little bit of bum rap, especially online when it comes to looking for recipes. I mean, look for ketchup and barbecue. There are literally hundreds of them. So if you come across a good mustard recipe or you find one on your own, please send it to my way. I would love to hear about it. Now, until next time, we're going to catch up on another condiment. Boy, that was a really bad pun. Yes, guys, we're going to be doing ketchup. So until then, stay hungry, my friends. Profiles, but it'll always be made out of peppercorns. Peppercorns.